clip though. That'd be crazy. We shoot the video out here. Check it out.
Oh, oh, that's sick.
Thinking about doing it.
This discussion, I don't have to tell you about its historical or historic significance. It's not every day I get a chance to stop for a minute, place like this, and talk about hip hop on a higher level. Of course, thank you for that. Celebrating Hip Hop History Month, what we do is we go through the history first. And the history of hip hop is very, very, very large, vast, and complicated. And of course, there's no amount of time that could possibly cover the entire history of hip hop. However, there are teaching techniques to getting that history into your head in less than an hour. This lecture is for teachers. I urge all teachers that teach to take up hip hop as a profession, as a teaching profession. It's new in the world. Universities are teaching it, teaching some version of hip hop in their institutions, but they're not really legitimate, and I say that respectfully, because in one breath, we do appreciate any institution or person that teaches some aspect of hip hop. We appreciate that. But on the other side of it, no university should, or they should know, that when teaching a subject, you want to be as authentic as you possibly can. You want the information from those who are the origin or the source of the information, all of that type of stuff. And universities are not doing that. Institutions are not doing that. What they're doing is enticing students into their classes or so on by putting, say, you know, anybody. Somebody say, I have a huge vinyl collection, so I'm gonna teach hip hop. I'm a journalist or a musicologist, I'm gonna teach hip hop. I'm a psychologist, I'm gonna teach hip hop. I got a degree in African American studies, I'm gonna teach hip hop. All of this, I would say detrimental to the teaching of hip hop or to hip hop itself. Because if you can't hear the source, if you can't hear the original, then you have no standard in that way. You're starting from like in the sky. You really don't have the standard. And what's the problem with that is that when you meet people that are the standard, most times you're embarrassed. This is what happens with MCing or any of the elements of hip hop that I'm gonna explain today. There's a real and then there's a fake. And fake is not bad, it's just fake. Real, on the other hand, is not all good, but it's real. And this navigation between real and fake, and this getting into a little bit of philosophy here, but you know, cause and effect, real, fake, illusion, and actuality, this kind of thing, is what gives you the perspective on hip hop that you need to have. You need to know what the fake is so that you really know what the real is. So let's go through the real. First of all, I'm really honored to be here because the places that I come to are the places that wind up in hip hop's history. Because we are historic. Anytime you're recording an event, anytime you're doing an event like this, it becomes historic. Most people don't realize they're in history until it's too late. And then they look back on it and say, oh, wow, you know, I shoulda, I coulda, I was there, I was there. Well, the same way that we're meeting like this is the same way we met right here. This is 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. Just a front shot of 1520 Sedgwick. This is where a guy named Cool DJ Herc, get that name in your head, Cool DJ Herc, short for Hercules because of his size. Cool DJ Herc, at the request of his sister Cindy Campbell, she's throwing a back to school jam at this place right here. She asked her brother, can you DJ for me? He says, sure. He jumps on the turntables and comes out with a style called the merry-go-round. This merry-go-round style of DJing What it did was it focused on the breaks of specific records. James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone, Booker T and the MGs, and others who had breaks, instrumental passages of music in their songs. Kool Herc would go right to the break of the song, or all of these songs, and start playing them from their breaks. Now, this he called the merry-go-round. It wasn't on time. He was just mixing one record into another one record into another one, and it wasn't on time. It was just a mix, and the people loved it. But because the breaks kept going. A break that would last 30 seconds, Herc had it going for like 2-3 minutes. Little dudes like me, I'm 8 years old at the time. Herc lived here, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. I live here at 1520 Sedgwick. This is a side shot of the building. 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. This building is next to 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. All these buildings are in a row on Sedgwick Avenue. In 1973, when Cindy threw this jam and asked Herc to be her DJ at this party, I was 8 years old. I was living here. Herc threw his jam at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue on my same block. This is just some baby pictures. Don't mind the clothes, please. It's 73 and we're poor as hell. So at the end of the day, this is 1600. This is Sedgwick Avenue down here. It's 1973. That's me and Kenny. We're in the parks here. This right here. The reason I'm pointing you to this 1973, 8 years old, several wisdom lessons to learn as I tell you this history. One, it's 73. Do I have to remind you of Malcolm X assassination in 65, Dr. King 68, Medgar Evers, Fred Hampton, Black Panther Party, JFK, Robert F. Kennedy as well. About 10 major figures in the United States are being assassinated over this 10-year period. We don't have too much of this today, but just try to imagine the times. Vietnam War going on as well. And it's a totally different time. Give you some perspective. Stray cats and dogs are walking around the street. This is a major part of inner city life in New York City. Packs of dogs, cats, and birds roaming around the city, attacking you, to the point where they had to be an ASPCA. But an animal agency comes out and takes these animals off the street. Dogs running around with rabies and foaming at the mouth, walking around in packs, terrorizing little kids. This is New York. We're 8 years old trying to make a life for ourselves there. Now listen, look at this. There's nothing for these type of kids. Nothing in New York. And I mean that, nothing. You are left to die. We are here in the South Bronx, which is still the poorest area in the United States. The poorest area, neighborhood in the United States today, 2025, is still the South Bronx. We're there in 73. Here's the wisdom lesson right here. We're just doing our thing. We living our lives. Herc through a jam. A couple of months later, he'd come outside to this very park that we're playing in. Start playing his music in the park for free. Little kids like me, 8 years old, would hear it, get it, love it. Oh wow, Kool Herc, he's coming out again. Yeah, let's go see Herc. We in the park like this. Now, we're just being us. It's regular, just being who we are. We had no idea that the way we danced, which by the way, we were called B-boys because we danced to Kool Herc's breaks. When Kool Herc used to play the breaks of records, that's when we would jump off the wall and start breaking. We just being ourselves. We had no idea that what we called being ourselves was a cosmopolitan attitude. It was the attitude of everyone in the world like us in urban areas. We didn't know it, they didn't know it. It wasn't called hip hop. It was first an attitude, a character, a response to the life that you were living. We had no idea. We're just being ourselves. Now, let me speed you up all the way up to today. Brrr, boom. You're just being yourself right now. We're just gathering here right now, just like this. And this is precisely how hip hop began. Some people knew and were conscious of where they were. Others were not. Just like we're here, meeting just like this, and we're being ourselves. We're meeting, we're discussing hip hop. This is what it is. 30 years from now, something may come of this meeting that we had no idea. And let me even go further with you. The term hip hop was not even created, invented, discussed, known, nothing in 73. We wouldn't get the term hip hop till like 77, 78. 73, we're just us. Breaking, MCing, graffiti art, DJing. Sick. We didn't even call it that because graffiti writing was its own thing. Breaking was its own thing. MCing, DJing, these were separate things. So we just doing our thing and not realizing that the thing we doing is just doing our thing is creating culture, history, billion-dollar industry. We had no idea. We're just doing our thing. These 8-year-old kids were in a situation that was so crazy, they couldn't change the situation, so they changed themselves. When you can't change your environment, something human happens to you. You transform yourself to meet the challenge of the environment. This is deep anthropology. How human beings adapt to the environments in which they're in. And let me go further with you. You can only adapt to that which you already have an adaptation for. Meaning, your cells are getting turned on and turned off by its environment. The environment you walk into operates on the body and tells you what you gotta adapt to, adjust to, and so on. Well, we're in a hellish situation here in the Bronx. Hellish situation in the Bronx. And here we are now having to adjust. What did we do? The Bronx is tore up. All we got is these subways, this garbage, these dogs. Let's start writing on the trains. Everybody else sees this machine as transportation, and that's what it is. But we realized that the power of adaptation changes matter according to your perception of it. This is what hip hop really teaches. You call this a microphone and whatever this is, a mic stand. I can call it a pointer. Pick it up, start pointing, use it to point. Use it like I use this. I can put a brush on the end of this and use it to paint. I can use it as a crutch, maybe as a cane. We limit our perception to what our grade school education taught us. So when you these kids and you ain't getting an education, you make stuff up according to your own perception. We was just being ourselves. That's a train, you're supposed to get on that, right? Yeah, I can't afford to get on a train. Can you afford to get on a train? No. Well, let's do something else with the train. Let's ride on it. What do you mean? The train is not meant for riding on? In my mind, it is. That's a canvas that goes all over the city. And if I could put my name on this moving canvas, my name gets known, I'm all over the city, and guess what? My value goes up. We weren't stupid. We knew what would happen if you put your name on the side of a train, and it would go from neighborhood to neighborhood, speeds you up a little bit. Now today, what I'm saying to you right now is a major marketing tool used all over the world, putting messages on the side of moving objects, trains, planes, spaceships, you name it. That did not exist in 1973. In 73, the buses went by, they were playing. They had a thing on the side of them, like a frame on the side of the bus, and there they would put the advertisement of what it was. And that was only a few buses too. Trains had only the thing inside the train, you could look up and see advertisement. Outside of the train, plane. Inside of the train, plane. Now today, You go to Disney World, you go anywhere where you have trams and there's all on the side of the train, Mickey standing up there, but Daffy Duck, this, that, and the other. That's all hip hop. That did not exist before we started writing on the sides of trains, and other people started saying, wait a minute, that's a damn good idea. To get a message across, to get your name out, to raise your value. No, these kids were thinking. Now, the reason this picture is here is because I speeded up later, because from that day forward, me and Herc obviously remained friends and went forward in life. Hip hop starts on our block. This guy here is recognized as the father of hip hop. Like I said, his name is Kool Herc, father of hip hop. I was 8, living on the same block. I couldn't even go to his parties, and I had to wait till he came outside. And Herc was also a legend in the Bronx, just in the community. He was just a legend in the community, what he used to do for people, kids, the huge sound system, playing in the park for free for all the families and all that. He was a legend in the Bronx. So I grew up here with this dude, and this also should just let you know my passion for hip hop is not just a passion, it's literally my life. And a lot of MCs don't know that. And that's what or people in hip hop don't know that. And that's what I say, the embarrassment comes up. Because KRS-One is real. And I don't say that boastingly. I say that for real. When I show up, I've mastered my craft of MCing. Hopefully I'll show it to you today. Mastered my craft of MCing. These other rappers and so on, they didn't master their craft. They didn't come from here. They're imitating here. And it's fine to imitate. I hope you get something out of this imitation. But when I show up and we passing the mic and the beat's rolling and you fumbling and stumbling because there's no Serato, there's no auto-tune, there's no studio, there's none of that. There's none of that. You gotta get back over here. When we could not even afford instruments. We made music with our mouth. Big up to Biz Markie. We made music with our mouth and with our bodies. Just throw that shit on. Yeah, let's go. All right, you might want to record this. Hey, Joey, we can get rid of this right quick. 1, 2, check me out. This is how